After Hours.
On this episode of the History of the Course After Hours podcast, we discuss the all-star band known as Isles and Glaciers. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurviveByPro for news and the latest episode postings. And make sure to subscribe to the show. Leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. And if you'd like to see us do some live streams, leave us a comment or tweet us the keyword stream. Now, without further ado, let's start the show.
The devil is in Atlanta. Army surrounded.
Welcome back to the History of the Course After Hours podcast, where each and every episode I, Curtis, sit down with my good friend and avid listener to the History of the Course podcast, Erik. How's it going, Erik?
Avid listener, even the ones that I know I'm not going to enjoy too much.
He's like, I don't like this at all, but I'm going to smile anyway.
Anyway, yes.
Don't worry. I have those feelings too. But you know what? It's like I told Josh, sooner or later, we got to talk about them. We're going to talk about bands that we like, we enjoy. You know, you got Silverstein, you got, a Comeback Kid, Vanna. We're going to talk about Coheed and Cambria up here soon. Me and Josh really like that band. Between the Buried and Me is going to come around sooner or later. Norma Jean, bro, Chariot. These are bands we like. Isles and Glaciers is a band we don't like, man. But you know what? They're part of the core family, and we have to talk about it. We have to invite them to Thanksgiving. Okay? Our mom said so. All right? But we got to be nice to our cousin. Well, it is what it is, okay? Just, don't be in a room by yourself with them. But anyway, this went down a dark hole. Okay, this went down. Okay, I'm just going to get away from everything that I'm saying right now because that was creepy too. Erik, put this band, put this band on the spotlight now, please, for the love of God. Take control.
So it's called Avoid. Chariot. Like everything we just said, we should have avoided. But here we are. That is Avoid in all caps, by the way. There's a couple bands out there with the name Avoid.
Yeah. I do like how the other band was like, no, we are Avoid, period. I was like, oh, okay. Period. Nice. Yeah.
So I couldn't find an exact start date for them, but their first EP dropped in 2017. So probably sometime around there. Unless they were meandering about not doing much for a couple of years like some do. Who knows? They did. Yes. Calling you out. They once were called Avoid the Void.
Oh.
So okay. That's what I was talking about. They just shortened it to Avoid.
Okay.
Just to be a little easier, one of those things on stage, we're Avoid, not Avoid the Void. That's kind of a mouthful.
Please don't avoid us.
But don't avoid them. They're actually pretty decent. They are from Seattle, Washington. They have that kind of nostalgic, high energy post-hardcore kind of sound.
Okay.
Gives me high school vibes, middle school vibes, but
okay,
that's just, for me, that's the sound of that time. They definitely have some catchy hooks in their songs and a really good live performance. There's one guy I was reading a review and he goes, dude's like a golden retriever on stage. So much energy all the time. I can't confirm that guy was everywhere. I don't know, man. It could have been because dude was all over that stage.
Where'd you say they were from? Seattle?
Seattle, Washington.
Drug pandemic up there, buddy.
On a side note, interesting that the people from the West Coast that I've been seeing recently, so like that, you think of old school West Coast hardcore and how they used to dress in those like big oversized like t-shirts and like I don't know, being from Seattle, if they have like a Seahawks jersey or something like that, and it's like 17 sizes too big for him.
Right.
Not just him, but like several other lead singers from different bands I've seen from the West Coast recently have been going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just comfy on stage or if that's kind of what the style is heading to back out there. Just something interesting.
A little bit of both.
Maybe a little of both.
I got to be comfy.
I don't know.
Got to be comfy.
I
Got to have a
bet it's kinda
breathable
warm up on
shirt when I'm running
stage.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do, man.
So they
I don't
are
know about
on.
you. Sometimes I do see bands playing live, and I'm like, I would be burning up in that clothing right now if I was you. Dude.
Right. Like
I
I've
don't
seen
know how
some
you
that
do it,
literally
man.
they do full suits and stuff. I'm like, dude, you're
Yeah.
killing me.
Well, like, yeah, Josh Scoggin in '68, him and the drummer, they both dress up in suits all the time. It's like, oh God, dude, I'm burning up just watching now.
Yeah.
But
Man, I couldn't do it. But I'd probably be on the side of the super huge shirts, you know. But
yeah.
that I don't know.
Uh
They are on Thriller Records. They have with 8 other bands total, right? 8 whole bands. So that does include The Word Alive. I'm sure you've heard of that one. Rain City Drive, and even Catch Your Breath. So if you've heard of any of those, Rain City Drive seems to be like the hot, the one right now. But
okay. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Now I'm really like wondering if I listened to the right band or not. Which band am I supposed to be listening to? The one with the period or without the period?
All caps, no period.
All capital. Okay. I did. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Um, can I give you my brief opinion?
Brief opinion. All right, let's have
Yeah.
it.
Well, so okay. So I don't doubt what you're saying about like the catchy hooks and everything. I didn't hear any yet, but I'll be honest, I only listened to one song and it was off of their 2022 album. I was like, okay, I'll listen to this full length. And I turned on the first song and like, dude, you and I have talked about this before. I mean, if you want to cuss, whatever. When you just like every
Right.
other word is that, I'm like, okay, this does not feel genuine. This just feels like it just feels fake to me, you know? So, like I said, I don't doubt that there's some catchiness in there. I guess besides this album, because it seems like every song on here has a explicit rating on it. What other? I mean, I guess they only have. Well, they do have Alone full length. What's your favorite song? Let me ask that.
Oh, let me pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Trying to think of what they did live, because
yeah,
there's a
a
couple of them live that were really pretty good.
Okay. I did listen to Flashbang off of their Burner EP. And didn't that one start out kind of like it sounds kind of like it's alive? Yeah. I thought that was kind of a cool effect. It was like they start out the song live, but then it goes into like studio form.
I think it was Cowabunga is probably the one that hits best for me.
Oops. Oh, Cowabunga. Okay, off that one. Yeah, it was just like really like I started listening to it the other day, that full length, and it was just really hard for me to like get past that song because it was just like, if this is how the rest of the album's gonna be, like I don't want to listen to that, personally. I
Right.
would like to get past that, but it's my personal opinion. I don't know. I mean, every other song may not be like that, but yeah. So it's my brief opinion.
They did kind of sound that way live a little bit. They were
Okay. Yeah.
I won't say unnecessarily edgy. They definitely they had a sound. They were going for
Yeah,
that sound. They had a style. They
I
were going
respect
for
that
that style. And that is part of that kind of skateboard punk kind of, I don't know, post-hardcore-ish period that they were kind of going for, was a lot of that.
for
I think
sure.
that's what
Yeah.
he's going for.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure.
And I'm not going to say this is my favorite band out there ever. I mean, a lot of these little ones that I'm going to bring up are stuff that I found that I thought, hey, that's pretty interesting. it's a newer-ish band. They're getting their name out there. I may have seen them. Some of them, like the last one we talked about, I just happened to stumble across. And if they happen to be in the States, I might try to find them.
He went all the way to Sweden to see Ult.
Oot.
Ult.
But
So did you see this band live or not?
I did see this one live. Yes.
Okay, who'd you see them with?
They were with Dayseeker, Rain City Drive, and Silent
Oh.
Planet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that now. Okay. Yeah, it was interesting when I typed their name in on Spotify. Silent Planet was connected to them, which I thought was kind of interesting, but a little different
Which is
vibe there.
also interesting because they're I don't know. They were just a fill-in on that tour actually too, because it's supposed to be
Yeah.
Polaris.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Which
Avoid in
I'm
all
not mad about
capitals.
that.
Yeah,
In all caps.
in all caps. If you go to the other one, there's only like 1,000 listeners per month, so you're in the wrong place.
maybe
I mean,
try them too.
go check them out. I mean, I don't know, just go check them out. Whatever, might be a good band. Might get some more listeners by the next time we talk about them. Oh, who knows? But yeah, Avoid, nice.
I
Okay,
will
cool.
final thoughts. Overall,
Yeah.
kind of a fun sound. A lot of fun live. Like I said, dude's a golden retriever. He is all over that stage. It is wild to watch him.
Yeah.
And very hype. A lot of hype. The Dayseeker crowd is not exactly a mosh crowd, but he had a small mosh pit going. He was really enjoying.
Yeah, I must say,
stirring that mosh pit up.
I see Dayseeker more of a kind of bobbing and weaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting into this one, man.
Can you
We'll
imagine
slow
Silent
this one
Planet
down.
playing for the Dayseeker crowd? Yeah.
Yeah. Depends. I mean, well, no, I can't. Never mind. I'm going to agree with what you're saying. Cool. Avoid. Nice. Yeah, and you
Avoid
know
the
what?
void.
If you're gonna be a vocalist and you're gonna be like that, a golden retriever on the stage, and the music matches the intensity, you're gonna get a response from the crowd for sure. So
Okay.
that's how to do it,
And-
man. I will applaud him on that. So
And that's one thing. They were selling out of shirts at the end of it because everybody was like, dude, I didn't know these guys were so good. Like I listened to him on Spotify and it was like, oh, but this is amazing. You know,
yeah,
because he put on such a good live show because that's just what they really excel at their live shows.
right.
And
Yeah.
there's some bands that do that. I mean, they're not
Well, especially in
like
that
what you hear about,
genre
like,
that they're
Extreme
going
and stuff.
for.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta have a good live show for that. So
Oh yeah.
all right, Eric, here comes the creepy uncle. I thought we decided not to invite him this year for Thanksgiving, but apparently he's shown up. He found out we were all gathering together in a secret place, but now he's here.
Got a
And
case
his
of Bud Light
name,
and he's already a little drunk.
oh my gosh, man. There he is. That's right. His name is Isles and Glaciers. Now, we say this on the History of the Chorus podcast, and I'm going to say it here too. We're just giving you some facts and our opinions on facts. Okay. That's more directed more for the History of the Chorus, because this is more kind of chill interview, whatever. But these are
Right,
opinions,
and,
you know, they may not
Gospel
line
law
with you.
comes from my
Whatever.
mouth.
Exactly. Yes. Whatever Eric says goes. Please don't go against him, please. He's holding me hostage. No. So whatever we say here, I mean, we have our opinions on this band and even the next band that we're going to talk about too, and the people within it. But you know, it's not gospel. I mean, it's not our cup of tea, right? I'm assuming it's not your cup of tea. I haven't gotten the answer
Not
yet, but I'm
exactly, no.
assuming it is. So, all right. How were you introduced to Uncle Isles and Glaciers, Eric?
I might have heard them when they came out originally, or I might have even heard the whole album, you know, riding around somebody's car somewhere. But I probably just would have mistaken them for Pierce the Veil or Sleeping with Sirens or something in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
It didn't stick, apparently. I didn't know that this was a thing.
Yeah. I didn't realize it either. I didn't know, never heard of them before until just recently. And I was kind of like, oh, that's cool, interesting. Got a lot of people that I know of, you know, at least in their bands. I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot here. Didn't hate it, but I'm not like, oh my God, this is the greatest album ever. I wasn't
Right.
fangirling. More on that later.
Yeah.
How would you describe Isles and Glaciers to a new listener, Eric?
So for me, actually, what I know they had two main singers, and then the guy from Pierce the Veil is actually like a just background singer technically. But I
Yeah.
felt a lot of influence from Pierce the Veil,
Okay.
like almost to being a side project from that. It has some softer spots in the direct comparison, but even some of the vocal structures were similar to songs that come from Pierce the Veil. And granted, I don't know every song from Pierce the Veil. I've listened to a couple albums, somewhat familiar with those.
Okay.
I like, again, going back, I probably like somewhere 3 to 5 songs that I actually enjoy by them.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 3 if we're being honest. But
I would throw out
anyway, that's
I'm going to throw out two genres at you because we like making up genres here on the History of the Chorus podcast. Fangirl core.
100%.
Okay. Because me and Josh both said this really feels like music for fangirls. It really feels like anything with Craig Owens and Johnny Craig is fangirl related. Yeah, it's that's a touchy subject. Anyway, um,
You. I
yeah,
think
the other
the new current fangirl like core would
mm,
be Rain City Drive.
okay, which has ties to Craig Owens.
Like,
So yeah,
anyway,
so my other one would be douche core.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Yeah. There was a picture I had on my background for the original episode, and it was like all the members, I think plus some guys, some random people. They're all sitting on couches. They each have like a bottle of champagne, a bottle, nonetheless, not a glass, a bottle. They're all like, "Hey, what's up?" Just like I looked at that picture and I was like, if I had to title it, I would title that douches. It just like, oh man. I just look at that and I'm like, I can just like the ego is just oozing out of that picture, man, from all these people.
Yeah.
Call it a super group, all-star band, whatever. Um, you know, maybe I'm not really thinking of one. I mean, I had that problem in the last episode, but has any good come from the formation of these types of bands, in your opinion, Eric?
I even was trying to think back of old ones. But what we tend to get is ego issues and
Hmm.
maybe 1 or 2 good singles, but as a whole, we don't get longevity out of them. We don't really get good full length albums out of them. We get maybe a good EP and a couple of good singles. That's about it.
The formula feels like, hey, I'm in a popular band. You're in a popular band. And you're in a popular band too. We should all get together and get some cash out of this because it's a cash grab. That's how I feel like it is, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, like I've always kind of been interested in, oh, what's this band? Oh, that guy was in such and such, and that guy was in such and such too. Oh, this is kind of like a super group. Okay, interesting. But yeah, I'd never heard like I'm with you. It's like there may be like 1 or 2 songs that come out of it that are good, but this is such a cash grab move. If you do a super group, it's such a cash grab move, man. Ugh. Well, they only got one EP, Eric. You know, that's really all they could stand of each other in the end. The egos, just too much. Yeah.
Anyway,
Give me your thoughts on said EP, The Hearts of Lonely People.
so not overall like a terrible album.
Mm,
Just it does feel like a good chunk of the influence is coming from Pierce the Veil for me anyway. I definitely feel the influences from the others, don't get me wrong, but like the say 60% feels like it's coming from Pierce the Veil. Uh, some of these songs have that very similar structures in them, and it's like I can't even tell like some of these songs if I've heard them before, and I start to hear things. I'm like, I know this song. do I know this? Wait, do I know this song? And it just starts to get that wheel turning. I'm like, maybe it's just the original singers covered these songs, or like the other bands covered these songs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what's going on here anymore. So
For
I
me
don't know.
personally, the album started out good, but it went off quick. And I'm gonna read you some lyrics here of where I really felt like it went off quick. This is Empty Sighs and Wine. This is the fourth track on the album. Whoops, where'd it go? Okay, it starts out, it says, I finally found her, but I haven't gotten a piece of her yet. And I want to tell you by the way that I want to tell you by the way I think I've ruined your body. Oh,
Yep.
ew. And I think
Especially
I
looking
read,
back, the
yeah,
few
oh
things that have
well.
gone on, that
Well,
makes it really creepy and
it's
weird.
it's it's funny too because like I think it was on the next episode that we talk about or the band that we talk about next. And Josh, we talk about Vans Warped Tour and the history of it and some of the things that went on at those said festivals. And that's not the only one. There's things that went on, I'm sure at other festivals too. There's things that I read that went on at Cornerstone Festival. That's a Christian festival. That I mean, it's just it's a breeding ground. But it's funny because like I think of these guys, especially like Johnny Craig and Craig Owens, I'm like, Vans Warped Tour guys because they are creepy as all get out. Don't leave your daughters around them, man. Yeah, that's yeah. Normally, Eric, I would finish an episode with your favorites, but I just want to ask you a question. Is there really any favorites to be had by you from this group?
Eh, eh.
Eh,
If I had to pick, I'd say okay. So album wise,
hey,
I'd have to say
gun to your head, or
okay,
uncle's
okay.
hand on your back caressing you.
Oh, oh no. Okay.
Mm.
So album, I'm gonna have to say just the normal one. They've got the one with the really short demo. Uh, I mean, it's just really short. And then you got the one with like what I literally wrote was icky remixes
Oh, the remixes,
because
yeah.
uh,
Even more of a cash grab, by the way. Oh my gosh.
right. So I did write down one lyric. Are you ready?
I'm scared.
It's not as bad as that one. I did think
Okay,
about writing
okay.
that one down, but I was like, you know what?
Don't do it.
I don't even want to put that up my screen.
Don't do it.
So these are the hearts of the lonely people ripped out in front of us. These are the themes of the way we love.
I do enjoy those lyrics, yeah, from their first song or the first song on the album. It's nice, little
But
catchy to
I
it.
will say it really sums up what the lyrics do for me. It's pretty on the nose.
Mhm.
Literally has the title right there. Title of the album, right there in the song. And even really the theme of the whole thing. He literally states the theme. This is the theme. It's
Attention,
like
attention. Here is the theme.
this is not a
Yeah.
fifth grade writing project where you say, okay, in my opening paragraph, you need to have 3
Oh my
points, and those
gosh.
are going to be your points moving forward. That's not what you're supposed to do with an opening song. That's kind of what I feel like they did with this opening song. So
You're
there's that.
writing papers. You saying that made me remind me of like writing papers in like high school and college. And you'd like they'd be like, oh, it's gotta be 1,000 words or whatever. And you're probably like me. Well, maybe you're not. I don't know. I would always sometimes if I get like to the end, like the last paragraph, and I'd be really short, I'd be like, all right, I gotta make this work. And so like you start like just dancing around the whole subject. You're just kind of filling in some stuff, repeating some things. It's like, how can I just kind of like crawl to the finish line here, man? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was a little off the
That's almost
subject
what I
there,
felt
but
like. So
again,
favorite song wise,
oh yeah, go for it. Sorry, I thought we were done there. My bad.
well,
Say the instrumental.
I don't know.
Say an instrumental.
That's a safe one. But
It's safe
I
here.
didn't hate Viola Lion
Okay.
like outright. Now I will say I did kind of enjoy the opener and then Hills Like White Elephants, kind of that as a whole. So the opener is, of course, an instrumental. So there you go. There's your instrumental. But
I mean, here's some
I
of the
like
things
that
like
alarm clock motif that's going on in the background of everything.
right.
I kind of enjoyed that, and it continues from that one song to the next, and it kind of continues if you can listen really close underneath that entire "Hills Like White Elephant" song. I was here for it. I kind of like that, and like I said, that was actually starting off pretty strong for the album. I was like, okay, we could do this, and like you said, it felt like it derailed really fast. Then we hit those lyrics about ruining her body, and I'm like, uh, I'm gonna leave the room now. That's yeah. Especially like I said,
Yeah.
looking at it in retrospect, that's the part I don't like is we know what happened to a few of these guys, and it's ew. So
I will give them props for their delivery on those vocal lines. Sometimes are pretty catchy. So yeah.
yeah,
But again, it's not our cup of tea. Not Josh's cup of tea either. But maybe it's your cup of tea, and that's cool. It's cool, I guess. Um, so
So what
it
all
just is what it is, man.
did we say what all bands these come from? This
Okay,
band,
Chiodos,
okay,
Emarosa,
okay,
um, now, at a point, apparently Johnny Craig was in Dance Gavin Dance, but I'm just gonna stick with Emarosa here. I'm gonna stick with the main band. So Chiodos for Johnny Craig, or Craig Owen, sorry. Johnny Craig, Emarosa. You've got, of course, Pierce the Veil with Nick and Vic, guitar and
Mhm.
drums. There was a guy that ends up being in Sleeping with Sirens after that band. Um, I'm missing one or two here. Let me pull it up because I thought there was some
Well,
others. What's up?
my point in asking is if you like this sound, go to those bands.
True.
They do it better.
Uh,
I'm not a huge fan of Chiodos, never was. I don't make any bones about it. But go try them out. They are a band for a reason. They've been around for a long time because people like them. Same thing with Jiminy. Pierce the Veil. I mean, that's another one. I like two or three of their songs. You know, what is it? Bull in the Bronx. That's kind of a fun one. It's probably because the music video on that one. I enjoy that. But anyway, Sleeping or Sirens, another one. I enjoy like their first two albums. Past that, you lost me. So probably when that guy joined in, nah. But if you like this sound, go to those out. Go to those different ones. They do it better.
Yeah, Receiving End of Sirens was another one. Um, and then one of these other guys was in Chiodos also, one of the guitarist or bassist. This one is interesting though. Not that we, either one of us really like this, but I just kind of found it kind of interesting. Let me see what he played in the band. Ryan Southall, who did guitars, keyboards, synthesizers in Isles and Glaciers, he was in the receiving end of Sirens at the same time that he was in Isles and Glaciers. Later on, he joined All Time Low. But after that, and more recently, according to Wikipedia, from 2018 to present, he is actually Pharrell Williams, the popular, I don't know what you want to call that, pop or whatever musician. He's actually his production manager. So that's kind of interesting.
Oh,
But anyway,
hmm.
yeah, little fun fact for you. We like fun facts
Yeah,
on
there
the
you
history
go.
of the
All Time
course.
Low. That's another one. Meh.
Yeah.
Never caught me, but if you are into this, go try them out. You might like
True.
them better. And I don't think they're as creepy, if I remember correctly. So there's that.
Nothing I can think of. Nothing I can think of. Yeah. Yeah. All righty. Let's get on out of here, Eric. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurviveByPro for news and the latest episode postings. Not just on the show, but we got other shows to whet that appetite as well. We have the History of the Chorus podcast where me and Josh talk about a band from the chorus genre, album by album, member change by endless member change. We also have the Red Right Hand podcast, which has covered all 6 seasons of the Peaky Blinders. And sooner or later, we'll come back around and talk about the movie as well. We also have the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which has covered season 1, currently season 2 of HBO's House of the Dragon. And I think, now that I say that out loud, I believe when this episode comes out, I think we'll have just gotten the last episode of the season, episode 8, I think. So now we have covered season 1 and season 2 of HBO's House of the Dragon. I got to check in on that. Also, while you're on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host at Joshua Len Gary. That's been the other fun thing about trying to record this and like those other episodes on History of the Corps, like way ahead of time. Trying to keep track of like, okay, where am I at in House of the Dragon compared to when this episode is going to be coming out, so I can kind of say, whatever. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's been fun. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you're using. And if you want to listen to us and see our smiling faces, head on over to our YouTube page. Just search as Survive by Productions. It's that easy. That'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Like Eric's doing right there. Alrighty. Until the next episode, where we're talking about the other uncle known as drugs. Or you can call him Destroy, Rebuild Until God Shows. We'll see ya.